Hey, y'all, it's Bree Specific from What's the Word. Make sure you tune in every Wednesday, 1 to 3 p.m. here on YouTube and all other platforms as well. Like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell, all of that. Thanks for watching. Hey, what's up? What's the word? Best rap album.
You want to get into the Doechii?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Doechii.
No, just no.
I'm the rap Grace Jones.
Come on now, Doechii. Come on now.
He know music.
Another one that CODY feels a little indifferent about.
I'm getting my hate on.
Doechii said, I'm Carrie Bradshaw with a back brace on. I'm going to carry any all that too long. Well, she's so crazy, man.
No, but I feel like, yeah, she can rap her. I'm not going to lie to you. She can rap her.
Right.
Like
compared to J. Cole.
I told y'all. I told Chris earlier doing. I'm not going to go. My take in the group chat will not be on the show.
Why not?
I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm not.
Stand on it.
Okay, stand on business.
Say what you should. Yeah. Because I feel after reviewing the category, I see why they gave it to. I feel like me putting more emphasis on highlighting industry games and like what they got going on is taken away from her greatness and that's taken away from her talent. And both two things can be true, right? But like how y'all was saying earlier, well, my statement sometimes I shouldn't just say it, right? So shout out to those.
Well, he not gonna say it. I'm gonna say it.
What he said?
No, but CODY felt that Future and Metro album should have won.
But right? I also ran that back.
Yeah, but he did run it back. But I think his biggest point with that was that because Doechii's album didn't have, or mixtape didn't have like charting singles, or like it wasn't like something that you would hear like everywhere. Like you heard Future and Metro tape.
It didn't have like a commercial impact.
Yeah,
it was.
Denial is a River charted. I believe that charted, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, just now. I think it just recently charted. Like a week or two ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's
nobody is playing. I ain't gonna say nobody, but Denial is a River isn't like a urban radio.
That's not even, okay.
Tell, because we saying it wrong, right? So tell us what you said.
Shout out to TDE. I'm so sorry that we understand industry games. We understand what happens when you play the game. You know what? Example, when TDE didn't know how to play the game, Macklemore beat Kendrick Lamar for best rap album. You know, but then when you learn how to play the game,
it's a TDE year.
You win. So it was a TDE. It was a TDE year. You got SZA coming down the pipeline. You got Kendrick Lamar coming down the pipeline. And if anybody that's been paying attention to what's been going on, you can tell that Doechii is the next darling up. Like they're really putting behind her, right? And if I'm not mistaken, and this TDE has a joint venture with Interscope, correct?
Yes. No. Yeah. It's not Interscope. It was Capital. Maybe they changed it. It was Capital when Doechii first came out. It was Capital.
So whoever she got they with, right? So if we can tell that in hip hop right now, it's a women's game, right? Mm-hmm. It's a women's game right now. Women is hot. They're pushing their next star up. Is Doechii. You've been seeing Doechii everywhere throughout this year. She's been everywhere. The tour's been crazy. Everything, right? It makes sense for her to win, right? But if me as a fan, and even if casual listeners, like she don't have that mixtape don't have no slaps on it, right? It doesn't have. If you go ask anybody in here, what's the name of the album, the name of the mixtape? A lot of people don't know the name of the mixtape. Joy, what's the name of Doechii mixtape? Name it.
Why would you ask her that?
Because
the girl, our photographer behind the scenes.
Okay.
But it's like it wasn't, even when she performed this shit, bro, at the Grammys, even when she performed this shit, it was like, yo, you rapping, but it ain't no slap. But now her as a performer it's crazy to me, right? I think but it ain't a slap. We know what a slap is. You talking about, it's a difference between
what am I hearing right now?
CODY.
This
is the CODY we get every day.
It's the same. It's my same take when I feel about Rhapsody, right? Well, it's like it's like certain people make music. It make music, and it's like it's good music, like good sound, and you can rap, cool. But what I'm saying is that that's gonna be for a niche audience. Like for you, we talking about that just.
All right. So
I don't know, man. It's just not. To me, if that was any other year, that album wouldn't even be considered. If it wasn't a TDE push, no one would have put that in there.
I still feel
I don't think next year, when it comes down to music, I don't think to this day, I haven't been nowhere where somebody say put on that Doechii album.
CODY, where you been at?
No. Outside of you forcing it. Outside of you forcing it.
Where do you be at?
At home.
That's the biggest question, right?
And then look, and then we got to get out of this idea that music, yes, it's a communal thing, but it's not always a communal thing. Like 444, when Jay-Z's album came out, can we all agree that was a good album?
It was a great album.
We not gonna be somewhere somebody say put on that 444. That's for yourself. That's cleaning the house. That's on your airplane flight. That's introspective. Right? No, so that doesn't make it bad music.
I'm not saying that's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's bad music.
He said it wasn't best rap album winner worthy. But I still thought it would have still been a TDE year if she did not win best rap album.
Yeah.
I'm not taking
I want to go back to something earlier that I think we need to define too. I know what you mean, but the listeners might not. What do you mean when you say play the game? When you talk about TDE learned how to play the game this year, what exactly are you talking about?
So they're playing the game, right? So when it comes down to the Grammys, right? Out of what they said, the 13,000 people that voted.
Why did they keep making emphasis on the 13,000?
They're trying to spread the blame.
There's going to be some backlash. Just know it's a lot of people that voted. So the reason why, when I say play the game, right? So when we talked about, let's break it down. When we talked about Doechii being pushed on the forefront all year round, being seen, being her name heard, stuff like that. It's like the same thing when Megan Thee Stallion won. Like you saw her everywhere leading up to the Grammys, right? Her name is everywhere. Out of those 13,000 people, not everybody are voting members are coming from our community, our culture, and Black and hip hop, right? So when people are voting, a lot of times they're voting for names that they know. Sometimes they don't even hear the music. They don't even know that. So if I'm voting for the best country album, I'm probably voting Beyonce because I know Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? And it's no takeaway from her album being hot, but I seen Beyonce, I know Beyonce, I know the name. So when you're trying to get your artist push, you got to play those games. You got to get the visibility, the networking, the private events throughout the year, like moving and shaking.
The billboards, usually Grammy season, they have the billboards say for your consideration. The
like you really playing the game.
Cover spreads.
Like the year Chance won, right? The year Chance won.
Chance was everywhere.
He was everywhere, and then I think it's Blueprint. I think it's a complex Blueprint.
I know what you're talking about.
And Pat did. Yeah. And Pat broke it down in that interview how they was moving and shaking that year to get Chance nominated, to get him out there and get him pushed. It was independent, so they didn't have the label support like a Doechii have, like whoever her joint feature with TD. Like they had to really bust and grind to make that happen. You know what I mean? So that's the playing the game. So a lot of that stuff, like when we talking about quality of to me, right? I think I say this, I'm gonna down this here. I think Cardi B Invasion of Privacy album is probably one of the dopest albums that I've heard. I listen to it, right? But when you want to put it in the best rap category, that year when we started talking about rap, everybody that listened to rap and that were rap fans would have told you either Pusha T or Nip had a better rap album than Cardi B.
You know what's crazy about what you just said? You didn't even mention Travis Scott. She lost to Travis Scott.
She did lose to Travis Scott.
She lost to Astroworld. And this is what I be talking about.
Travis Scott, right? Astroworld is not is what we talking about rap. And that's why they always say you need you be needing sub genres in rap.
I think people go for, especially now, because you can sub rap in so many different categories now. I feel like, and I think this played a part into Doechii winning too. I think just like the unconventional rap, like always just has that extra oomph to it. It stands out. So on top of you seeing her, you looking at her against like Eminem.
I
don't even know why Eminem was in there, no shade, but Common and P. Rock, the Auditorium. I heard that one. I mean, it was unconventional, but it wasn't unconventional where it popped and people paid attention to it.
Exactly. But they got it all again. So I want you see Common at this. You don't never really see Common was doing. He did From the Block, bro.
Common did press. Common did press. They did press. They had like movie theater listens. They did a lot.
That's called playing the game.
So why they win on the
season? That's why I wanted to mention playing the game, right? Because I think the only two real contenders in this category, as much as I love Might Delete Later, only real two contenders was We Don't Trust You and Alligator Bites Never Heal, right?
Yeah. Right.
How many interviews and how much content did Future and Metro Boomin put out around the release of this album?
I mean,
They did like the GQ thing. I think that was really it.
Yeah. So I mean, it shouldn't matter.
We Don't Trust You had like that, or Still Don't Trust You had like that.
We Don't Trust You had that.
Oh yeah, they kicked it off. They ain't no content.
You gotta kick the whole thing off. But I think that's why I wanted him to define playing the game, because I think some of that matters. Just like any list or any award show, like we could just take the veil off of it. No matter what it is, we know Mox from the Crib. Mick Jenkins probably got a better album than a lot of people on some years that they won, right? So it's like we know a lot of people that could have been in these categories, but it's about the level at which you play and how you're getting the word out about what it is that you do. You know, they say if build it and they'll come. The real phrase should be build it and market it and they will come. You know what I'm saying? Somebody sent me a list earlier today. It was like, why aren't you on this list? I was like, because I don't know them people.
That's exactly how it be. That's all it is. They don't know me. I don't know them. That's why
I don't know them.
Why I got
exactly. So you have to put yourself in a position. Should it be like that? No. But the thing is, there's a point at which the music has to match the marketing. And so I get what you're saying, but in Doechii's case, the music matches the marketing. Records like Boom Bap is her talking about, and I'm not saying that you're not saying the music don't match, right, but I think that you're saying that like is more so about, you know, how she's positioned. But when you listen to the album, it gave you that satirical take on boom bap rap, where she's actually making fun of what we're talking about. Like, she appreciates boom bap, but she's like, yo, just because I made hits like Persuasion, just because I made like pop music and all of that, don't mean I'm any less of an MC. And I feel like in order for this genre to move where we need it to go, you need a couple of wins from actual lyricists and actual artists to still encourage new upcoming artists to still make music that matters, that pushes boundaries, so we're not all trying to sound like each other in every generation.
I get it. That's why I said I can't.
Future didn't win.
That's why I don't want to like put too much emphasis on the games, because it's like I'm down. Like I was saying, it seems like I'm downplaying her in her.
Now
music.
you working properly. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. But I see the industry game. So when she won, I'm like, all right, cool. Because if we was talking about rap, and then we just talking about earlier we was talking about songs have an impact on culture. We Don't Trust You probably had the biggest impact on in the rap.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's why I brought up the interviews and stuff too, because this is my personal gripe. I think artists underestimate the value and the power of doing media. And we talk about this all the time. It's frustrating to me when an artist comes out, and yes, the music can speak for itself, et cetera, but sometimes part of why we know Daytona was one of the best rap albums that year is because Pusha T's press run, the way he explained his concepts, the way he talked about it, I'm hip hop's Martin Scorsese, like, he painted the picture in the world around the release. Artists, rappers, you still got to come outside. You still have to talk to media. You got to explain your art. You have to let us know that you still care about this thing. Or even if you're not doing interviews, the content that you drop, the listening sessions that you drop, like all of these things create the energy and the momentum around it, and it gets the fans excited because we're no longer in an era where we're going out and going to the store to get the album. Back then, everybody had to market themselves like crazy to make us get up, go to Best Buy, and pick up that album. Now folks are just dropping the music, and they think that the mechanics aren't the same. No, you still need to come tap in with press. Yes, you can jump on Instagram Live and talk directly to your followers, but they're not going to ask you the same questions that a trained journalist is going to ask. And I think Doechii is reaping the benefits of doing also the behind-the-scenes work. And one last thing with Doechii, I seen her live at multiple festivals. I don't know if you really understand how the audience connects and the performance and the one-to-one connection that she's making with these people.
I'm so mad.
So it is a real movement that she has that don't necessarily like touch the places that we probably be in.
Yeah, and that's another thing I spoke on with him earlier. I was telling Chris, like, I see the work she's putting in. I see the performance. Like I with it, right? I'm messing with it. I personally, sometimes I feel like certain wins. Shout out to Doechii.
If she did everything she was supposed to do,
she did everything she was
what's
supposed
the
to do.
problem?
Ain't no problem. Shout out to Doechii, right? But you did say something.
Should Future have had one?
No.
I would have.
No.
I love Doechii. I've been I've been rocking with Doechii. Doechii was one of the first like real celebrities to follow me, so I'll rock with Doechii forever. So,
That's fine.
but I feel like Future and them could have one. I feel like they had a bigger impact on a longer lasting impact on the culture from what they kicked off, but they didn't do what they were supposed to do.
And you still listen to a lot of them records on both of those 2 albums they dropped. Like those are they dropped a lot of timeless
But
records.
it's like you expecting to get an A out the class when you didn't do your when you didn't raise your hand and get your participation points.
No, I get you.
But I think what y'all are saying is right. How Domes was just saying, like you gotta like kind of push boundaries a little bit, like right. Like I don't think Future or Metro are doing anything that's super innovative or different than
I feel like
any last project that they dropped.
Bringing that beef is innovative
enough. The beef was nice, but you're not doing nothing like that's like super new. Like I've heard this Future before.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not to cut you off.
Go ahead.
The production by Metro that he introduced in them 2 projects alone was some of the best production that we've seen in hip hop in years. And then you gotta think about sonically how that album sounds. Like they had Mike Dean mix and master that. Like that, like for you to say that they didn't push the envelope on that, we don't trust you and we still don't trust you, it's crazy because I feel like they put on a master class of putting together. I would say sonically they put on a master class of putting together some albums, bro.
And I haven't heard in a long time a bunch of men get together and rally together and get songs to talk about one man that they was mad at. That's a great marketing tactic to me.
They haven't done that since 50. 50 got that treatment.
Okay.
But the Doechii, like I said, shout out to Doechii. I think she did what she's supposed to do. I think she
big hate the building.
Yeah, she doing what she's supposed to do. She can rap. And
shout out to Doechii.
Shout out to Doechii.
Shout out to Doechii. Okay.
We gonna
What's up? What's the